Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is about the art of journaling, or the practice of journaling or diary writing. Over the years, this has become something that's very important to me, and it's become an integral part of my day, my routine. And lately I've noticed that a lot more people are getting into it. I've been writing a diary since I was in first grade, thanks to the amazing teachers I had and thanks to the amazing schools that I went to. Over the past few years, I've noticed that my diary writing has really changed and evolved. So in this video, I'd like to show you a few of the journals that I use, and also take you through like my journey as the writer of many diaries, and also maybe it'll give you a few ideas of how you can start to write a journal and the kind of benefits that you could derive from it. So before I actually show you all the diaries that I have, and I've actually managed to unearth a few old diaries as well, I'd like to tell you about the benefits of diary writing, and this is something that actually has been studied. Diary writing and journal writing are actually being used as tools for therapy, and so there are many benefits of doing it. I'll just talk about three which I found are applicable to me and may be applicable to you. The first one is basically it helps in introspection, self-introspection. Now, the kind of days that we lead are very busy, very hectic, and they can be very confusing also. The kind of relationships that we have today, the kind of situations that we sometimes come across are sometimes very confusing, and you cannot really process. There are so many situations that are difficult to process as and when they happen. And sometimes you're confused about other people's reaction, about your reactions to certain situations, and all of this, when you come home and you write about these situations in a place of like non-judgment, which is like your own personal diary, it helps you in processing the events better, and it helps you in reflecting about your reactions and your beliefs. And so it brings with it a sense of clarity. Another benefit of writing a diary is stress relief. Again, our days are very busy, very loaded, very emotional days, and there are very few outlets for people nowadays. I mean, very few of us have time to play a sport or to work out or to hang out with friends or family, and it's becoming more and more difficult to take time out for ourselves, and that leads to a lot of stress build up within ourselves. And unless you periodically get rid of stress in any way that you can, like whether it's through a sport or through talking to a therapist even, or talking to a friend, or just going out for a run or working out, the stress stays with you, and then it leads to a lot of psychosomatic problems. And these can manifest in many different ways in your body and in your life and in your mind. So journaling is a way for you to actually write about everything that bugs you, everything that makes you happy, anything basically that you have any emotions about. The process of writing it down can actually be very cathartic, and it can have a very calming and soothing effect on you. Of course, this doesn't happen immediately. It does require a little bit of time for you to get used to the idea of actually opening up and writing about everything that means something to you or something that was hurtful to you. But once you're able to offload yourself onto a piece of paper, you'll see that it's the best feeling. It actually makes you feel so much lighter. It helps you in being happier. And the last benefit that I have personally experienced through journal writing is a sense of clarity. As people who are bombarded with information and situations and decisions on a daily basis, sometimes you end up becoming very muddled and very tired and very fatigued in your mind, mentally and emotionally. And this may lead to a lot of confusion and restlessness, and discomfort. And writing a journal, I found, has actually helped me in objectively analyzing what I feel and what I want, and with that has come a lot of clarity. And I think clarity is one of the most important things, and one of the main things about journal writing, and one of the main benefits of journal writing. So I think because I've actually noticed all of these three benefits on a daily basis, I think that's why I continue to write, and maybe that is why I've been writing for so long. So now let me show you a few of the journals that I have that I've actually managed to find in my cupboard somewhere, and hopefully that'll give you some ideas about how you could start a journal and what kind of journal you could keep. Like I mentioned, I've been writing a diary since school, and I actually managed to find an old diary. This diary is actually from 1998, and it's when I used to live. My dad was posted in Bangladesh, and we were living there, and I did my high school. Like, I finished high school, 11th and 12th from Bangladesh, and I was actually going through the pages, and it's about how we started 12th grade, and going to school with my friends and the events in school, and actually it begins with a movie that we saw, 7 Years in Tibet. Just going through it makes me feel that everything changes. Actually, all the problems which I thought at one point in time were so big and were life-changing, and was the end of the world. It wasn't. All the problems in retrospect seem so small, and this is, I think, like a big lesson for me, that whatever problems I may be going through right now, in a few years they won't even seem that big. Most important thing is that everything will change, and this too shall pass. And if you've been through like the agonizing years of high school and come out of them sane and in one piece, then there's the rest of your life will probably also be okay. Then a couple of years ago, one of my students actually introduced me to the 5-minute journal. This is actually, it's for people who don't have time to write. She gave this to me for my birthday many years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and that was a time when I wasn't writing too much. I mentioned earlier, self-introspection and self-reflection are one of the benefits of journal writing, and this journal actually allows you to do that as you write. I would say that this journal actually changed my life, because it showed me that it is important to start your day with gratitude, end your day with gratitude. This is when I started doing affirmations. This is when I started believing in the power of manifestations and in the power of positive thoughts. And the best thing is that it only required 5 minutes a day, and for a long time, for many years, I just did the 5-minute journal. This diary is actually available on Amazon, and I'll provide the link to it in the description of the video. It is a little pricey, but it's worth a try. I mean, it actually did change the way I think, and it changed the way I approach my days, and I would highly recommend this to everybody. And then one day, a friend of mine and I started discussing the kind of questions that we were asking ourselves. This was inspired by the 5-minute journal and many other journals that are out there in the market. And so we decided that maybe we should create our own questions and answer those on a daily basis. Now, by this time, we had understood the power of gratitude and the power of affirmations, and we wanted to see if there was maybe a better format which was better for us at least. And that is when our research started. And we actually created our own journal, and we took printouts of it. And it actually has evolved over time. So we've been working on this project for 2 years, and right now we're on actually the second iteration of the journal, where we're again incorporating a lot of aspects of self-introspection, also just analysis, self-analysis, gratitude. We have a space for notes as well. So right now, this is actually the journal that I'm working on, and this doesn't take very long to do, and hopefully maybe one day I'll be able to provide this as a product on Amazon as well. It's something that you can create for yourself. You could actually create 5 questions for yourself, questions about gratitude, what you want in life, affirmations, and just answer those daily. And you don't need a fancy notebook. It can be any old notebook, and you can just answer these questions, and those 5 minutes can actually be your journal writing for the day. While I was doing the journal that I just showed you, I came across somebody called Gabby Bernstein. She described the process of actually writing to a higher power, and basically asking these powers for help to get whatever you want. So if you have a goal, or if you have a desire that you want to manifest, she suggested that you actually write a daily journal entry for that. And that's when I actually shifted to that style of writing. And I found this to be very therapeutic, because many times the kind of roles that we play, it's hard for us to ask for help. Very few places where you can just be very open about the fact that you don't know, or you're helpless, or you're feeling sad, or that you just want something or somebody or some power to just take care of that issue or that situation. So I found this style of writing very beneficial and very relaxing. And I think it contributed to mental stability and calmness as well, because you just get to sort of ask for that which you want and which you need. So I recommend this sort of writing as well, especially if you find that you have to face situations which can sometimes be overwhelming. So this really helped. And then one day I came across this book. It's called The Artist's Way, and it's by somebody called Julia Cameron. And it is basically a course for journal writing. It's called The Artist's Way, A Spiritual Path to Higher Creativity. And it is basically like a 12-week course where every week you're asked to do a particular assignment. And one of the basic tenets of this method is to write a journal. You're supposed to write 3 pages, and they call them morning pages, and it's basically a stream of consciousness kind of writing. And she asks you to wake up every morning and just write 3 pages of whatever you feel like writing. You don't have to structure it. You don't have to answer any question. You just have to get up and just write whatever comes into your mind. In fact, she has even stated that if you feel like you don't know what to write about, you write about the fact that you don't know what to write about. I actually took out another notebook, and if you look at it, it's full of like pages upon pages of just a stream of consciousness kind of writing. Now, I'm supposed to do this every morning, and to be honest, because of the 30 Surya Namaskar challenge, I haven't been able to do it every morning. I make a point of doing it every day. And initially it was hard. If you don't know what to write, you feel blank, and but over time that it becomes easier to write, and you feel good writing, and the words and sentences sort of just flow. And this is very similar to how I used to write when I was little, and the journal, the marble notebook that I showed you. It's very similar to what I used to do. This is another way that I would recommend you keep a journal. And in fact, for my challenge for March, we're actually going to be doing that. So instead of writing 3 pages, which is quite a lot, I'm suggesting 2 pages every day of March, preferably as soon as you wake up, but if not, then one at any point in the day. But and finally, the last diary that I keep is this little one, and it says everything is fucked. So this diary is actually a part of a giveaway that my sister won, and it actually came with a book by the same name. This is actually my gratitude journal. So a couple of months ago, I started studying Vedanta with a Vedanta teacher in Bangalore, and she actually told us that we're supposed to be keeping a gratitude journal. Every night you're supposed to write everything that you're grateful about. And again, like it for any journal, I found it really difficult initially, and I also found it repetitive. It would seem to me that every day I was happy for the same thing. But over time, I found that it actually feels good, and I sleep better when this gratitude journal is the last thing that I do in the night, because it gives me a chance to go through my day, and also to think about all the good things in my life and in my day. And that sort of totally changes the way you're thinking and the way that you sleep. So so this is something that I would never have really thought about doing as an exclusive journal. Like, I thought maybe this is something that I could just integrate with the other journals that I have. But I find that it's very nice to just have a little book of gratitude, and our teacher actually said that it's your book of gratitude, and that's how you're supposed to treat it. So this is my second one, and whenever I go through it, I sometimes feel so good to see like all the blessings that are there in my life, and everything that does go right. And it's one of those diaries which really don't talk about your struggles, but talk about what you're happy about despite the struggles. So I think this is also like a very nice way for beginners to keep a diary, because it's actually really small, and you have to write maybe 10 sentences about what you're happy about. So yes, this is also another way that you can actually keep a diary. So yeah, so these are all the diaries, and my inspiration and my thought process behind writing them. If you are interested in starting, to keep a journal, starting the habit of writing, leave a comment below. Reach out to me on Instagram, on Facebook. It is a habit that has changed a lot of people's lives for the better, and I think it will change yours also, if you put in the hard work, and if you put in the time, and if you have faith in the process, and if you're patient with the process. So that is it for this video. If you have any questions, let me know, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.